What's up, guys? We're going to be testing this V3 SPEC Jet. So it's a brass weighted V3 on AFX track. Also have a extraction $1 special from heck is it called? Hobby Lobby. But built this track last night. This is older AFX, so this is Tomy track here. So this is stuff that's like pre-99 roughly. This came out of a set that I think was from 95. So it was a giant raceway from 1995. Has the older style controllers. This is exactly what I grew up using, this and Tyco. But we cleaned it up. Whoever had it before me, you can see, I don't know if you can, but some of these track pieces are really light color, and that's because they sanded them. So you can see this one's pretty light. Over here is pretty light. They sanded the rail a ton just with sandpaper, which is fine on the rail, but it also, it changes the way that the surface is. But pretty cool little layout. All of these pieces and more come with the Supergiant Raceway. But this is a brass weighted car. Stock controller on full power. So this has the full 22 volt power supply, which I'm having to, you definitely aren't punching full throttle in any corners. But very, very smooth. And I mean, for literally just laying this down on the table. And this is a really killer car combo, guys. Like if you haven't run a SPEC Jet, they usually run on 12 volts, but this is, an awesome setup. Let's see if I can get closer to where you guys can kind of see my trigger finger. Controller is, getting a little bit warm because we are having to hold the throttle constant through the S's and a couple of other spots. So they can handle it. Ooh, and he finally crashed. Still too, this surface, even though we've cleaned it, the track surface itself, still that dust is in the pores and it is coming up. But run just a stock $20 extraction. Ooh, definitely not as planted. You guys are on, say what's up. So I know you're there. We've been super busy this week with stuff. Next week is race week for SCDRL, so we have been busy getting that stuff ready. John and I are going to be running that. Sam's not going to be here for that one, so making sure everything's good to go. And we've also been rearranging stuff back here. If you saw my video yesterday, I can't drive that thing compared to how nice it is to drive this guy. But yeah, if you saw my post yesterday, we redid our paint station. But this car is pretty quiet on this track, and you really can't hear a lot of the joints. But that's just because it's a non-magnet car, so it doesn't have any magnet pulling the car up. But a lot of that noise comes from, grab a piece of track here. It comes from this being hollow. So this is a hollow surface, and a lot of that car noise that you're hearing of the car running on top of the track is just, it's like an echo chamber. But, for a modern car on an old setup, you could absolutely have a blast on this. And this is what most of you guys have, and this is what most of the people out there are running. And so I definitely encourage you, if you don't have your track set up on a table, the comfort of knowing that if you crash a car on this table, that it's going to stay on the table. Like, you just can't beat that. It's, you know, and to having it up off the floor. So if you can, go down, get yourself a piece of plywood or two. You know, it doesn't have to be anything special. Do the best you can, but it definitely makes it a lot more proper. And it just, you know, to me, it just changes the fun of it. I mean, it's still fun. Maybe it's that it feels more professional having it on a table versus being down on a floor. Also, too, I've talked about it before, upgrading controllers is definitely something that's in the mix. And if you're buying a brand new set with the 120 ohm controllers, I recommend using those only for the AFX Mega G Plus, because it's 120 ohm. If you're going to run, you know, cars like these or Tycos or any of the other inline cars, at the least find yourself a good set of older Aurora controllers, or if you can, I definitely recommend upgrading to an adjustable controller like the DD505, and then just getting the adapter plugs to run it into your Tony setup. But great setup. If you want to run it the other way, just flip this plug, turn your car around, and now we're running the opposite way. We hung it off my track. It's coming apart a little bit right there. So you guys know how that goes. The faster the cars are, the more they tear the track apart. For some, that's part of the fun. But also, too, if you have something that you don't like, you just remake your track. One of the great things about the Tomy or the AFX layout is if there's something about it that you don't like, you just redo it, pop it out, change it up. I found, and this sounds silly, but I found that a lot of people build only the track that's on the box. Start with that. They don't have the creativity. Nothing against you if this is you, but I encourage you to just start laying stuff out. And if you get right here, you know you need to be back over there. You need to make some changes, and depending on what pieces you have fun, make different layouts. You saw, you know, these long straights, they have really good flow. You could do some corkscrews. You know, this corner's banked. I don't know if that picture, probably can't, but this corner is banked. These are all flat, and then this is a pretty tight entry. But hopefully you guys enjoy that. This is the V3 SPEC Jet, so brass weighted setup, but runs really good on there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We will see you later. Also, too, real quick, this is a new prototype body we're working on, so it's a new version of a GTP body. Ron's working on that up front. Testing this back here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We'll see you later.